What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to True Raider Podcast. I'm your host, True Raider. Now, I put out a little short earlier, but I want to talk about this, man. I want to talk about this because where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And I really, honestly, truly believe that there could be something in the works. I think that there's a trade coming. I set the goal up here on TikTok for manifesting, right? So let's hit that manifestation over here. Let's manifest this into the universe. Now, I think that by now, mostly everybody has already heard all the rumors, right? That Jalen Ramsey, corner for the Miami Dolphins, and the Miami Dolphins have come to a spot where they've agreed to part ways, right? And I think that this is huge, right? I really, really do think that this is huge. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can fix something real quick. Boom. I think that's a little bit better. All right. Anthony Estrada, what's up, man? What's up? What's good? What's good? Brian Lance, salute, salute. So let's just get into it, man. I'm going to pull up this article real quick. It's a short one, so don't trip. I know my reading skills are subpar. But this is on ESPN. ESPN.com, right? And it says Dolphins trying to trade star cornerback Jalen Ramsey, GM says. So the Miami Dolphins are looking to trade three-time All-Pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey, General Manager Chris Grier said during a news conference Tuesday. Grier did not specify the reasons behind his decision to trade Ramsey, but clarified that the seven-time Pro Bowler did not request a trade or a salary adjustment. The Dolphins have considered trading Ramsey for weeks now. Despite a thin cornerbacks room behind Ramsey, Grier said moving on from the star cornerback gives the team the best chance to help us win not only just this year, but in the future as well. Really, after a couple of weeks of discussions between ourselves internally and Jalen and his representation, we decided that it was probably in the best interest for all parties to move forward, Grier said. I will say these decisions aren't done quickly and they're not taken lightly because we spent a lot of time this offseason working through this, talking through things. At the end of the day, Jalen did not ask for a trade. We went through the process, and I just felt that after numerous conversations and then talking last week with Jalen and his agent, that it was best to move forward and it was best interest of Miami Dolphins and for Jalen Ramsey. Greer said he isn't sure what a trade will come. He isn't sure whether a trade will come together before next weekend's NFL draft, but if one does materialize, the Dolphins will have a clear need at the cornerback position. I'm not even going to try to say that name. Kader Kahu will likely be the team's starting slot cornerback. Although Grier said the team sees him as able to play both inside and outside, Miami signed former first round pick Artie Burns in free agency and still has Ethan Bonner, Storm Duck, and Jason Mater on its roster. I don't know what the hell is going on. When I read this in the car, man, it was like a short one. Let's see. I must have pulled up the wrong article. It doesn't even matter, right? It doesn't even matter because I'm already done reading. I'm going to stop sharing the screen and let's just talk about it, right? Let's just talk about what's going on with this. So, what I see is 93 Navman in the building. Salute, salute. Good to see you, man. Let me see. Anthony, man, not sure if you heard, but a Raider Brother content creator has passed early Monday morning. Not sure if you knew him. I did not, man. I did not, dude. Who was it, man? What's going on with that, man? I'm not really, tied in with the other content creators or nothing, man. Anthony, let me know who it was, man. 93 Navman. I will take that dude for a fourth rounder, but nothing more. See, and then your next comment says a lot about it, right? Miami is in salary cap purgatory. They literally have 7 mil below the cap, barely enough to pay new rookies in the draft. Well, that is contingent, right? That is contingent. Raider Ryan, salute, man. What's good? Um, let me see. That is contingent on, where is it? Well, Barry Jackson was talking about, and this is FLA Sports Buzz, right? He said trading Jalen Ramsey for a draft pick or picks would raise his Dolphins cap hit from 16.6 million to 25.2 million if they take the hit this year and leave Miami with only 7 million in space, barely enough to sign a draft class and practice squad, while realistically needing 5 to 8 starters. And the big takeaway that I get from this, man, is that if we make a trade with the Dolphins before the draft, so they would get draft compensation this year, then they end up taking this huge cap hit, which kind of signals that the Dolphins would likely prefer to wait until after the draft in order to they could get a deal done with us, right? And then they could do it post June 1st. That way, the cap hit doesn't mess them up. I think that they end up saving quite a bit of money. It looks like 9 million, right? But the part that gets me about that is because if we trade with them before the draft, then that means that we're trading a draft pick for right now, which means that they have to finalize the deal right now. And it kind of looks from this tweet that they probably wouldn't want to do that, man. Arbaco with the follow. Salute was good. Yeah, I have a feeling that the Dolphins would not want to go this route because then it puts them in this really, really tough position where they're not going to have any space at all. Now, I know that they could do some restructuring and all that, but man, there's a lot to this because if they wait until after the draft to finalize a trade, it really puts us in a position where other teams are going to have more time to kind of talk out deals and work something. And somebody's probably going to want to take a flyer on Jalen Ramsey because Jalen Ramsey, although he's 30 years old, he is still playing at a high clip, right? And this dude is totally, totally worth getting. Now, what I would like to see is for it to go down immediately, right? And the Dolphins may or may not want to do that depending on what they can do to move some money around with their salary cap, right? But I mean, really, 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 I cannot stress this enough. The Las Vegas Raiders must go out there and trade for Jalen Ramsey, right? And I know that there's a lot of people in Raider Nation right now. They're like, yeah, that looks good, but he's 30 and we're going to have another player that's like at the end of his career, past his prime, blah, 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 right? But if you look at our secondary right now, at our defense, we are in trouble. We are absolutely in trouble right now because we lost Robert Spillane. We lost Nate Hobbs. We lost Trayvon Merrick. We lost Marcus Epps. It really, really, Divine Diablo gone, right? We are in a position where our defense is going to be dismal at best, anything past the defensive line, right? And I know, like when we first signed Stokes and Jeremy Chin and John, like it was like, okay, these are comparable players. These are comparable. Damian with the follow, salute. Would you trade Mayer and a third for Ramsey? No, that's a little steep, man. I don't know. I mean, if it's Mayer and next year's third, I'll think about it. But I might do that actually. I might do that because Jalen Ramsey makes the Las Vegas Raiders better right now. Absolutely makes us better right now, and we need that. Michael Mayer may or may not. Let me see. Anthony, Dorian Hopkins was really close to him. Not sure the information of his passing. Darian Hopkins, is that what was his channel, man? You know what? Everybody, real quick, man. We had another content creator who passed away on Monday. That was just yesterday. Let's have a moment of silence for him, man. Salute to Darian Hopkins, man. Always hate to hear it. Okay, he was at Spotlight. I'm gonna have to go look that up, man. I guess I wasn't following them. 2-4 in the building. What's good? What's good? Salute, man. How you doing? Let me see. So now, man, 2025 for us would be 21.1 million. That's easy call for me, especially Dolphins interested in getting out of the salary cap hell. And that's an easy call for me too, right? Because what it comes down to is that Jalen Ramsey being at 21 million, and Sanji T was talking about that it's a $16 million cap hit for this year. We have the money, we have the space, like get it done. Let's go and do that immediately, right? Because yeah, we're a little bit hopeful that Jeremy Chin and Eric Stokes and like these guys are going to kind of step up to the plate because like when we pulled over Robert Spillane, I don't think anybody was like, yeah, we got Spillane. We were like, who? And like I remember looking him up and I was like, okay, this guy's mid and whatever. He's gonna fill a need for us, and that's about it. And then when it came down to it, he played above expectations, and we're hoping that these other guys in our secondary are gonna do that. But in reality, we need a veteran presence out there. Can you imagine the likes of Jacorian Bennett being able to play on the opposite side of Jalen Ramsey and being able to learn from him? I mean, that's invaluable right there. That's worth whatever it's going to cost just in that, because he's going to learn so much and develop so much because of that, and the rest of these guys too. But if you look at Pete Carroll and what he's done with the secondary, I gotta turn on this air conditioner, man. It's hot as shit in here. Hopefully it doesn't make too much noise, man. But if you look at Pete Carroll and what he's done with the secondary over there with the Seahawks, like he's had players develop above their expectations, right? And you give him the likes of a Jalen Ramsey with a Jacorian Bennett, who absolutely balled out last year. We need to fill that need from Jack Jones getting cut. And honestly, man, I gotta say that Jalen Ramsey is the guy to do it, right? And Navman was saying earlier, let's see what he says right here. I would not do a trade unless we intend to trade back in the draft to get the picks back. We now only have 1 third-round pick. See, the way that I look at this, right, is that there is absolutely not going to be anybody that we get in the 3rd round that's nearly as good as Jalen Ramsey, period, right? And Jalen Ramsey, he's 30 years old, but the dude still has at least a good 3-4 years left. And that meets Pete Carroll's timeline, right? Because Pete Carroll's on the 3-year with a 4th-year team option deal, right? And so it really meets the timeline of Pete Carroll. And I think that there's something to this, man. I really do. I really think that there's something to this. And I would trade a 3rd this year. I absolutely would. But if you look at that whole piece with the salary cap and the Dolphins, they might want compensation for next year, which would be smart for them because they're going to need to pick up a quarterback, because Tua is one good hit away from just being done, right? So if we're looking at not even having to give up compensation from this year and give up like a 3rd-round pick next year, I absolutely would sign up for that. I mean, that's a no-brainer for me, right? Because okay, then you look at next year and you're like, well, shit, we're not going to have a 3rd-round pick next year. What's that going to look like? What's that going to do to us? And really, we're going to have the compensatory picks from Robert Spillane and Trayvon Merrick. I believe that we're projected to get a 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I know it's not like solidified right now, but that was the last I heard about it anyway. And honestly, I don't know too much about comp picks and things like that, so I don't really know the mechanism on how that works, right? But if we're looking to get these extra picks next year anyway because of losing these players, then that's like picking up Jalen Ramsey for free and just having to pay his salary. And honestly, to get Jalen Ramsey, the deal that he's on, I was seeing who was it? One of these content creators earlier today, man, while I was at work, I was listening to it, and he was talking about that. It's basically a 1-year prove it deal, right? And you end up in a situation where, because of the way the contract is structured, you could just do that 1-year prove it deal, see if he's still playing at a high level, and if he's not, then you could move on from him pretty easily. Or there's a situation that you could restructure his contract, and restructuring that contract, I honestly don't know what that would look like, but if you can bring the cap hit down on a Jalen Ramsey and lock him in for a good 3 years, maybe 4, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Even if it comes with some guaranteed money, I say we do it. Navman, next thought is this. If we trade and choose to kill his current contract for more GDT, a 3-year, $60 million with all 60 guaranteed, 20 of which is incentives that do not affect the cap with team option. Okay, so you're saying over 3 years he'd get $60 million guaranteed. So 20 of that being in incentives. I mean, because honestly, even if he's a $20 million cap hit, I'm honestly not really concerned about that right now. As things move forward, I might get to a spot where I'm like, damn, we shouldn't have signed that contract with Ramsey because it's killing us, right? But as of right now, I'm like, let's just give it to it. Like, the way that it was worded by the GM of the Dolphins was that they were giving Jalen Ramsey permission to seek a trade. And the way that that whole article was worded was weird to me, man, because like the way that they were talking about, like, Jalen Ramsey did not request a trade, right? It's like, okay, if he did not request a trade, why the hell are they moving on from him? Their secondary is in dire need of help. Yeah, I know that they're in salary cap purgatory, but what's the whole reason, right? And it kind of feels like almost like they've been talking for weeks with him and his representation, and they kind of came down to this little thing of like, all right, look, if you don't go out there and say that you're requesting a trade, because that kills his value, right? And then they'll get nothing for him. So they're like, if you don't do that, then we're going to be more willing to work with the team of your choosing. And I could see a situation where they do that, right? Because Jalen Ramsey has said it in the past. He is on video saying that he practically begged to come to the Raiders when his rookie deal was up, right? And that there was an offer made, but it just didn't end up working out that way. And so if you have a Jalen Ramsey who wants to be a Raider, he sees Pete Carroll. He sees an opportunity of like, look, Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, John Spites, like they are actually building something there in Vegas. Geno Smith, I tell you what, man, he's not as good as Tua, but if Geno Smith gets hit and Tua gets hit, well, you still have a Geno Smith, right? And so then, he knows that he can help that defense, right? Because that defensive line for the Raiders is stacked. We got Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, Malcolm Koonce, Tyree Wilson. Like we got some key players. We got Devin White as a linebacker who's trying to have a resurgence in his career. And you put all those pieces together and you put Jalen Ramsey on the opposite side of Jacorian Bennett, and then all of a sudden, everybody's going to perform better. And I could see a world where Jalen Ramsey's like, look, man, I wanted to go play for the Raiders. No state tax. There's, good weather because he's coming from Miami, so he's used to having the good weather. And then all this stuff, man. And that's a T-dazzle. That's a no on the Will Johnson for me, man. User Raider MP with the follow salute. I am not all about Will Johnson, honestly. I am not. So he's got 2 different injuries that he's battling right now. I believe it's a toe injury, like a turf toe, and then a knee injury. And we saw what happened with Tyree Wilson, man, and I'm a little too concerned about that, man. 2-4, what's good, man? Third this year, fifth this year, and a second next year for Hill and Ramsey. Dolphins eat all of Ramsey's salary. Whoa. I mean, while it would be amazing to get the likes of a Tyreek Hill for Geno Smith to have an extra weapon, with Brock Bowers getting all the attention and we got Jacoby Myers, I think it just kind of puts us in this position to pay, what is he, a 30, 31, 32-year-old wide receiver, that kind of money. It puts us in this weird position, man. And they already came out and they said that they're not looking to move on from Hill. But the third and a fifth this year for Ramsey, that's a little tough, man. It probably wouldn't be this year, right? But if they said a third and a fifth next year, or a third this year and a fifth next year, then we're working on something, man. 93 Navman, Dolphins trying to get younger, I think, and will have to remove cap hits. They could be last in the AFC East next year. And that was something I was thinking about earlier when I was driving home from work, man, is that because I was like, why would they do this, right? What's the whole point? Raiders 7990, what's good? It's like, why would they want to move on from Jalen Ramsey when it's a need that they have? They need to add corners on top of Jalen Ramsey. Like, what are they thinking? But I think you're exactly right, Nev, man, is that they are looking to get younger. I think that they see that Tua is in bad condition. He's in bad shape, and they're probably not going to be getting a quarterback this year, right? And so since they're probably not going to be getting a quarterback this year, I could see a world where they're trying to stack draft capital for next season. That way they could move up or they might not even have to move up if Tua goes down with an injury, man. I don't think that the Dolphins are going to be that good this year, honestly. So next year's draft class of quarterbacks is way, way better, right? It's way, way better. So I really think that there's definitely a world where the Dolphins are looking for the long term, right? They're playing the long game and they're trying to figure out how they can put pieces together, get younger as a team in a different position, and then be able to build some draft capital to go and get their guys. I don't know, man. That's what it looks like. Vernon, what's good? What's good? Nah, man, I would not do a third at all. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get rid of a third round pick because you could potentially end up with a starter, right? And there's like a lot of mock drafts that I've seen and the ones that I've done where it's like in that third round, it's like being able to secure a running back, being able to secure a linebacker or a wide receiver, right? But there ain't no way that we're going to be able to get a player at Ramsey's level in the third round, man. I don't see it happening. I mean, it's possible, right? Max Crosby was a fourth round pick. Brock Purdy was the last guy in the draft. It's possible, but I don't know, man. Raider Ramsey for a fourth, but Ramsey going to want an extension. I'll pay that extension, man. I mean, his deal currently, I think he's got 3 years left on his deal, I think. And it's like 20, I think it comes out to like $21 million a year. Nah, man, Patriots got better. Jets, hard telling. Jets, dude, man, no. I mean, if every other quarterback fails over there with the Jets, I don't think Justin Fields is going to be like the quarterback that all of a sudden succeeds with the Jets. Bills, of course, best in that division. And I saw this thing, man, where it was on I don't know, man. I was watching it on YouTube, but I think it was like NFL on ESPN or something where they were talking about that the best landing spot for Ramsey would be the Bills. Now, I get that, right? You go over to the Bills and this gives you the best chance to win. But let's see, Chris, as a Finn fan, have no clue what Grier's doing. Exactly, man. All the Dolphins people I know are like, what are they doing, right? So yeah, they were talking about, if Jalen Ramsey went to the Bills and what that would look like. But if you look at the Las Vegas betting odds, right, on where Jalen Ramsey could end up, the Las Vegas Raiders are the most likely betting odd for him to end up, right? So we end up in this position where what does this draft look like? What does this draft look like? How about this? Parham and a fourth for Ramsey. Send it. Absolutely send it. Send it. And they need some offensive line help there too. So yeah, I would absolutely send Parham in a fourth. And Parham is good, man. Parham is good, and I have a feeling he's going to play better now that they take Andre James out of the lineup. But yeah, I would do it, man. I would do it, because okay, picture this, right? Let's say it's a third round pick, right? Because we're not going to give up a second, right? Let's say it's a third round pick, because a fourth round pick it's too easy. It's no brainer. Of course, we're going to send a fourth round pick. We'll send them a fourth this year and next year's fourth. Let's go, right? But let's say that we go ahead and send them this year's third round pick for Jalen Ramsey, right? Jalen Ramsey comes in, boom, we got a corner. No longer have a need at corner. Cool. Then we move into the draft. First round, Ashton Jeanty, right? Because honestly, it's probably going to be Ashton Jeanty, Mombaugh, or Sanders, right? I think it's going to be one of those three, honestly. Let's say it's Ashton Jeanty. Boom, we fill the hole at running back, right? And then we go into the second round. Damn it, I can't remember the kid's name, bro. I'm messing up right now. He's a linebacker. What he's a white kid, man. He's a white dude, linebacker. Can't even think of where he plays, man. But so you get Ashton Jeanty, a linebacker in the second, or Jihad Campbell, if he's available, which he probably won't be, but if he is, you take him in the second for sure. You fill a hole at running back, you fill a hole at linebacker, you fill a hole at corner. I mean, I would be so happy, right? Like if we could draft a cornerback in the third round that is as good as Jalen Ramsey is today, we'd all be pumped, right? And of course, yes, he'd be on a rookie deal and he'd have a lot of years left in his career and the cheap contract and right? But if you take that out of the equation, because as long as Spytek plays it proper and doesn't fumble the salary cap, then even if Jalen Ramsey is getting paid money, it's not really going to affect us too harshly in the long run, right? 2-4 question: if we traded back with the Saints, could we then trade the Saints spot back with the Chiefs and pick up 2 first next year? 3 seconds this year, maybe more. No, probably not, man. And honestly, I wouldn't want to give the Chiefs whatever they're looking for. But what it comes down to is that, like, you got to look at what is the need, right? Why would somebody want to move up, right? And so if you look at the Saints, Derek Carr might not play this year. He's got a shoulder injury that might sit him for the whole season. Spencer Rattler and what's his name from Fresno, like, they're not going to do it. Jake Haener, they're not going to be, they're not it, right? And so they could be looking to secure Shedeur Sanders. Deion Sanders was saying, like, he likes the colors over there because they're the same colors as Colorado. He likes the food, blah, 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 all that, right? And so if you look at that, if, they could move up to number 6 to try to get Shedeur Sanders, right? And besides that, the only reason I could see anybody really moving, like taking a huge jump up, is if they really, really, like, if Ashton Jeanty is still there at 9 and a team is just sold that, like, if we get Ashton Jeanty, we're in the Super Bowl for sure. And I don't know that the Chiefs would be thinking that, because they could be looking at Omarion Hampton instead, who's going to go later in the first. And that's going to cost them less to get. And they're probably going to have a more willing trade partner. See, Navman, Dolphins fans, quick answer. The Fins are effed. The cap effing is worst effing you can't get as mediocre. Yeah, so my son is a Dolphins fan, right? I mean, he's 9, so he likes Waddle and he likes the Dolphins because my mother-in-law got to him since he was born, man. Yeah, the other day on my Facebook memories, man, it popped up. I guess it was a couple months ago for his birthday, right? And there was a picture of him swaddled in a Dolphins blanket. And that day, I didn't even realize that that's what was happening. I didn't even notice it. But yeah, I mean, and so my mother in law is a Dolphins fan. She loves Ramsey, so she's upset. I mean, I would be pissed, right? Like just like how I was pissed off when Devontae Adams was like, he wanted to get traded. I was pissed, right? When we lost Robert Spillane and Trayvon Merrick, I was pissed. But you move on and you do your best to replace these players. Now for us, this was exciting news. As soon as I saw that, the Dolphins and Jalen Ramsey are going to part ways, first thing I thought is we're going to go get him. We are going to go get him. Yeah, so now, man, Jacorian Bennett would absolutely benefit from Ramsey being in the building. And you got to look at the development of our young corners, right? If we can get Jacorian Bennett, who was a 4th-round pick, and he played, that first year, he got beat on a couple of plays early. He got benched. Year 2, he came in and totally kicked ass. You put him with Jalen Ramsey in year 3, he's going to learn a lot of things and he's going to develop. And then we won't have to worry about, who's that next corner for us going to be, because we're going to have him on our roster. We're going to have drafted and developed him ourselves. That man, Dallas will stupidly give us a 2026 first and a 2025 third rounder if Genty is still there at 9. And I think that Dallas would be one to go ahead and try to make a big move on Genty. But, at first, I didn't even look at Genty because I thought there's no way that we're going to draft Genty, man. And, like, the closer it's gotten to the draft and the more smoke that comes out about Genty, I started taking a look at him, man, and the dude is absolutely a beast. And if he's there at pick number 6, we would be stupid not to get him unless we're getting – like a first round next year or something like that. Because Genty is absolutely somebody that could change the next 4 or 5 years of this franchise. He absolutely is. Yeah, and Paul Mao will develop as well. That's true. Gunsmoke in the building. What's up? Salute. Man, you coming in here for the tail end, dude. Because I got to say, man, I'm a little out of gas on this Ramsey thing because there's not a whole lot of information, right? Damien, you have the 6th overall pick. Ward, Hunter, Carter, Graham, and Campbell are gone. Who you taking? Ward, Travis Hunter, Dual Carter, Mason Graham, Jahad Campbell? No, you're talking about Will Campbell. I was like, damn. Yeah, if that's the order, then because if you look at like the big board, right? Like, what is your big board? What is the Raiders' big board? Because the way I see it, Cam Ward is absolutely number 1 out of everybody, right? Cam Ward, and then Travis Hunter, and then Abdul Carter, and then for me, Ashton Genty is probably like the 4th one on my board. Shedeur Sanders, and then Mambao, Will Campbell, and Mason Graham, and it kind of goes like that for me, right? And so if any of those top 5 are there at number 6, which is most likely to be either Ashton Genty or Shedeur Sanders, you got to take them, man. And yeah, I know a lot of people are out on the whole Shedeur Sanders thing. And honestly, the more I see that kid interview, the less I like him, man. I don't like how he interviews, and that's an important part of it for me. But I could see a world where the Raiders are like, look, like, Tom Brady could be sold on Shedeur Sanders, right? Mark Davis could be sold on Shedeur Sanders. And they could say, we're going to scoop him up at 6. We're going to sit him for 2 years under Geno Smith, develop the shit out of him, and then he's going to go in, to year 3 and absolutely take the NFL by storm. And if they do that, we're going to have to trust the process, man. But that's really rough when you take a quarterback that's not going to do anything for your team for the next 2 years, rather than taking a running back who is going to absolutely make a difference for 2025. Nav, man, I personally think what hurt us most last year was Epps going down for the secondary amazing leader in that room. Yeah, and that was harsh, man. And I saw somebody saying that we lost Epps, but I mean, I never actually saw anything officially saying that he signed somewhere else. Now I have to see, because I haven't even looked. Oh yeah, he went to the Patriots. God damn. Josh McDaniels over here poaching. Josh McDaniels is poaching. Got Robert Spillane. Got Marcus Epps. F that guy. God damn it. Yeah, and the coaching staff was garbage. I liked AP, man, as an interim. He was amazing. I was super happy with that. When they named him head coach, I was like, all right, well, maybe he can build on that. But then what it came down to is like, it was too big for him, right? He was not ready. It would have been nice for AP to be able to get put in another position to maybe develop into a head coach of the future, but to where he could still stay on this team as, whether it's linebacker coach or assistant coach or, something. That way he could still be the rah-rah guy, but not have all the responsibility. I would have liked to see that. Let's see. What's going on? Yeah, if we trade for Ramsey, I mean, and Adrian, you're a little bit late, man, but we've been talking about it, and really probably like a 4th rounder. Bleacher Report has us trading a 4th rounder and Trey Tucker, which I don't really like that, because I believe Trey Tucker, that this is going to be a bigger year for him because he's actually going to have a quarterback that can throw him the ball. But I don't think that Trey Tucker is ever going to be a superstar for us. Oh, maybe we move on from Trey Tucker and a 4th rounder, pick up Jalen Ramsey, and then sign Hunter Renfrow to be slot. I could see that. Let's see. Louis Lou, bro, we just have to trust the process with Pete Carroll. We needed a coach like this. And that's absolutely facts, man, because we have lacked solid coaching. And John Spytek, man, every time I hear that dude talk, I'm like, this dude knows what the F he is talking about. And I really, really like his calmness, his demeanor, the way that his mind seems to work. It's like, and you guys notice that, like last year, everybody knew that we wanted Jaden Daniels. That was like the worst kept secret ever. And this year, all of us are like, I don't know. Because they are doing things right. They are keeping their lips zipped. Shit, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But we're either going to hear something by the end of this week, or it's going to be after the draft. I do not think that it'll happen on draft day. It would be kind of weird for them to do it on draft day, but if that's where they see getting the most value for Jalen Ramsey, they might do that, man. They might do that. So that's gonna be it for me, you guys, man. I'm gonna roll it in, but definitely Navman 24 is good to see you, man. I don't know what happened to Gunsmoke. A couple of the regulars were in the building, but I love you guys, man. I love you, nation, bro. That's what it comes down to, and that's why I do this, right? Because like I could sit here and I could listen to to different content creators and read news articles and rattle around in my own head about this stuff, or I could come here and get with you guys and see where your mind is, right? And what you believe and how you feel on this stuff, man. Because what it comes down to, man, is that I ain't no NFL expert. I'm just a Raiders fan, and I want to finally see us just win, baby. God damn it, man. It's been a long time, and really I have a good feeling. Louis Lou with the follow salute. I have a good feeling about what's happening right now with this organization. We're putting the proper pieces together, and we're probably not gunning for a Super Bowl this year, but I see the momentum building in the right direction, and I'm here for it, man. 2-4. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. So good to see you guys. I'll see you guys again soon. Love you, nation.